13th, and you are all lucky enough to have popped in live or watching this video not live, because this is the best daily sports betting show on the planet. We've got an incredible amount of actionable information for you guys. Tokyo Brandon will be joining us right off the bat. He's going to look at at the Yankees-Cleveland game and the Dodgers-Mets game. Baseball is in full swing. Lots of drama in those sports. Tokyo will tell you exactly how to bet them. Jesse Schule, after that, he's going to look at the Purdue game in college football. And yes, there is a friendly in soccer, USA and Mexico. He's got a bet for us in that, and Adam Trigger is going to end the show with a bet for us on the Clemson-Virginia game and a futures bet in college basketball. Steve Merrill is my co-host on Tuesday. Welcome to the show, Steve, and I do have some news. How are you?
Doing well, and I'm afraid the news some people might be disappointed with. Am I correct?
Yeah, so Trash Talk Tuesday is no longer a thing. It lasted for 3 weeks. It was fun when it happened.
Had a good run.
But it has been banned. With that said, we are still going to have a blast on Tuesdays. So we're going to rename it Blast Tuesdays. No, we need a T. We need some alliteration. So if you guys want to rename the show, feel free. And plus, with Tokyo and Jesse on the show, I mean, it's kind of like they
self-fulfilling prophecy.
They don't
right?
even need. I mean, they're just
it happens on its own.
Yeah,
it's organic.
Exactly. Every Tuesday, though, Steve, you will be joining me as the co-host. Teddy has asked for Tuesdays off, so I'm going to honor that. But I'm going to rotate. So it won't be every Tuesday, but you will be on more than you're not on. But, every now and again, I want to do a show with Andy. I want to do a show by myself. Maybe even Tokyo Brandon and his Fufo wants to come on and co-host. So, but with that said, you are always the go-to guy. So you got a What Did Bettors Learn and a big game breakdown. Have you decided what your big game breakdown is yet?
Yeah, so I'm doing a ton of these solo videos throughout the week for college and pro football, and they're very well received. I'm going to do an additional college football play here in about 20 minutes. So I'm trying to figure out which one we're going to use, but there'll be about 7 or 8 other solo videos this week as well, including the Monday night video last night. I mentioned in the video at 2.5. I like the Jets better at 3 or more. The Jets make an excellent teaser. I put that out early in the week. It went from 2.5 down to 1, and of course it landed 3. So it shows the power of those NFL teasers where you can cross key numbers, and also the power of the key number of 3. But yeah, these solo videos are very well received. Tons of interaction. 20,000 views on that Monday night video. We had a lot of great comments in the chat, So keep it coming. I do honestly read the comments and reply back.
Yes, he does. Guys, pick an NFL game you want me to talk about in the NFL presidential address. And Steve, before I get into it real quick, what the hell is going on with the refereeing in the NFL? It really feels to me like this is the year where it's just been a complete nightmare. Kansas City has been gift-wrapped 4 wins. Tennessee Indy game. I was on Tennessee on the money line. So yes, sour grapes, full disclosure, but man, a completely made up pass interference call to put Indy in position to score that winning touchdown. And then following that, 2 horrifically missed pass interference calls. One that would have put Tennessee into field goal range to tie the game up. And I mean, it was blatant. And we are seeing this in every single game. And it's not just the random holding calls that they miss or don't. The pass interference is a spot foul. It legitimately changes the entire complexion of a football game. And I don't think the referees understand the rule. Anything to add there?
Well, I've talked a lot about this the last few seasons. I watched less games than I've ever watched in my 29 seasons of handicapping college and pro football, and my record is as good, if not better, than it's ever been, right? I mean, 5-1 this past weekend. I watched a handful of plays, and this is part of the reason, Prez, what you're talking about. You just don't need to watch these games. It's going to drive you crazy. I think the officiating is very random. I think it's also tougher in their defense. it is tougher to officiate now. These players are bigger, faster than ever. There's more passing plays. It's a lot easier to officiate when you're handing the ball off 30 times, like in the 1980s and 90s.
Yeah.
Same thing with the NBA. Basketball starts in a week. Can't wait for the NBA. Number one all time in the NBA. I love the NBA. We talk football, but man, don't sleep on basketball. Adam Trigger's got a free play coming up also in college. The officiating in the NBA we joke about, right? The conspiracy theories come to playoffs, the zigzag. And you mentioned how the Chiefs are getting some beneficial calls. LeBron James gets beneficial calls. So there might be something to it. But as a handicapper, I really don't think you can do anything about it. It's just random variance. And that's why, we're hitting 70% right now. But that's why we're not hitting 100%, right? You can't get everything. You just can't handicap for every factor that might occur.
Well, Canadian football, they do allow coaches to challenge pass interference. And I don't know why they can't do that in the NFL. At least one. You get one a game. Maybe two, but at least one. Because it's just too big a foul. It's not like illegal formation, man downfield, even holding 1st and 20. Teams can get out of that mess. But man, it always amazes me with 13 seconds left in a game in the first half and a team takes the knee. Why? Why would you not throw 3 long bombs and hope you get one pass interference call? I mean, they happen all the time. So, that's my vent for today. Had a winning weekend. Had a winning week in NFL for my clients. Had a winning week in college football for my clients. Had a winning week in NHL for my clients. I'm very happy right now. It is $5 Tuesday. I have a college football 5% play up for you guys. It's only $5. It's my second 5% college football play of the season. Head over to WagerTalk to grab that. Let's bring in Tokyo, Brandon. Tokyo, I cannot make fun of you today, but the beautiful thing is you make fun of yourself. So welcome to the show. You Mexican today? You good, bad, and the ugly? What's going on?
Are you Mexican today? I didn't see that one, Coach. That might be the line of the show right there. Tokyo, Brandon, are you Mexican today?
I am not Mexican today, but thanks for asking. I did hit the minus 20,000 that Steve would mention one of his videos on the show today, so I hit that right off the bat. So I'm happy.
Trying to help your bankroll out, man.
Thank you. Why is Trash Talk Tuesday not a thing anymore? I'm kind of surprised about this. And then
I think you took it too far. I personally blame you and Prez. That's my theory.
Yeah. It's definitely me and your fault.
I think
hey, listen, Tokyo, I might be one of the owners of the company, but I did step down from running it. I have the WagerTalk has the greatest management team I've ever been a part of. And if I'm told no more Trash Talk Tuesday, I will cater to the wishes of the greats that run this company. I don't ask why. I don't want the noise in my life. I do as told. So that is what it is. So Zorro, let's get into some picks.
Zorro, that's exactly what it is. Now you're on it. I was trying to think what it reminded me of. Zorro.
You've got a
TV Ray-Vaughn.
You got a bet for us on the Yankees and Cleveland Guardians.
I do.
This is a prop bet for us. Let's hear what it is.
I like to feel like this look is inspired by Stevie Ray Vaughan, not Zorro, and not anyone Mexican. But let's get on to the play. So Tanner Beebe taking on the Yankees here, and his sample size against this team is rather small. It's only 17 at-bats against, but they have crushed him in those 17 at-bats against. He has a 353 average against with a 1,038 OPS against. And if you take a look at how he's been pitching lately, he's not really giving up a lot of runs, but he is giving up quite a few hits. As a matter of fact, including the postseason, he's given up 4 or more hits in 6 straight starts. So if you look at his prop bets here against the Yankees, I saw that his hits prop was 3.5. Seems really low to me. I think the Yankees get him for at least 4 or 5 hits. The one fear in the playoffs is that a pitcher gets yanked early, but in his last few postseason games, he's thrown 76 and 64, gone 4 innings or more. I think the Yankees can at least get 4 hits against him in 4 innings. So Tanner Beebe over 3.5 hits allowed is my first play for the show.
Yeah, and Brandon, we're going to torch talk Dodgers Mets Game 3, which is tomorrow in a moment with you. But as a former MLB scout, I'd love talking baseball with you, especially come playoffs. Just a general question for you. How differently do you approach these playoff games from a handicapping standpoint than you do maybe the regular season?
The first thing right off the bat is pitchers get pulled very early. But if you look at their last year's performance in the postseason, you can kind of get a gauge. If they're with the same team, you can get a gauge of how the manager treats them. Like Wheeler, when he was in the playoffs, they leave him in past 7 innings, even in the playoffs. But a lot of these pitchers like BB and a couple others, they get yanked pretty early. And Buehler's another one who's coming up tomorrow. He gets yanked after 5 innings consistently in the playoffs. So if you get an outs prop over 5 innings for him, he'll probably go he'll probably go 5 innings and then come out. So if you get a 15.5 there, he'll probably go under. I'm not sure if that number's out yet. But if you look at how pitchers are treated in the postseason generally by their same team, you can get a good gauge on how it is.
Antonio Banderas joining us, everybody. Stealing jokes from the chat room. What's the name of your horse?
So, what horse did you ride to the show today?
Stevie Ray Vaughan.
That's good too, Brandon. I do see that.
I heard the documentary is incredible. Thanks for reminding me, TB. I got to watch that Stevie Ray Vaughan documentary. I know he's no Gene Simmons.
Guitarist, by the way. Yeah.
Yeah, it's ridiculous.
One of my favorites. Yeah, one of my favorites.
Yeah, and that's good because he would really appreciate that hat. Nick writes, is Prez going to roast Tokyo Brandon today? No, Nick. Trash Talk Tuesday is over, but we are still going to have a blast on Tuesdays regardless.
Nick, pay better attention, man. He's already roasted him like 3 times in this segment, so I'm not sure if Nick just tuned in or not.
Totally.
I roasted Steve, so yeah.
I know. It's fun. Like we're still... We Dan that over for Trash Talk Tuesday, right?
Johnny Detroit writes, for Tokyo Brandon's outfit alone, you need to hit that like button. I agree, Johnny. Hit that like button, everybody, because it's like not only is Tokyo wearing that outfit, but it's like 2 a.m. for him. So he had to wake up and put that outfit
It's tomorrow. On. He's already into tomorrow.
I just got home from the club. What are you talking about?
That's true. Yeah. It might be. Yeah. Now it's making sense. This is why he's like this when he comes on the show, because he goes clubbing on Tuesday nights in Tokyo. It's Wednesday morning.
I'm telling you.
Line dancing with Tokyo Brandon. So we got the Dodgers and the Mets. Game 3, series tied at 1. Where are you going in this game, my friend?
Okay, so this is tomorrow, and we got the Yankees and we got the Dodgers and the Mets. No Yankees. Yankees are today. So Dodgers and the Mets. So we got Walker Buehler taking the mound here against the Mets. And before I get in this play, today is $5 Tuesday, which means we all have plays out for $5, including myself. I have an MLB play out for $5, and I have a Japanese basketball full season package for $199. I'm plus 122 units in basketball last 365 days. No one would peg me for the number 1 basketball capper last 365 days, but I am. And it's mostly due to Japanese basketball. So now that I've done that, let's get on to the baseball. The Walker Buehler, he's very inconsistent, has not been real good, but actually, if you look at his starts, he's been rather unlucky. So he's not really a terrible pitcher. He's just been a little bit unlucky. But there is one Met batter who really gets under his skin, and that would be Mr. Pete Alonso. Can anyone tell me why he's called the polar bear? By the way, I don't get this. He doesn't look like a polar bear. He's white, but I mean, I don't know. If you look at Pete Alonso, how he's performed against Walker Buehler, he's 5 for 14, and 4 of those 5 hits are home runs. So he has absolutely crushed Walker Buehler in his 14 at-bats against him. And if you look at Walker Buehler's last couple of starts here, He is giving up, or if you look at Pete Alonso's last 6 games, he's had walks in 6 straight games. Pete Alonso has been on base. He's been going over hits, runs, RBIs. And let me talk about hits, runs, RBIs for a minute. Hits, runs, RBIs is a much better prop to bet rather than total bases. And I'm going with Pete Alonso, hits, runs, RBIs over 1.5. And the reason hits, runs, RBIs are better than total bases is because if your batter walks, you can still get some contribution to your prop if your runner gets knocked in. Whereas total bases, if you get a walk, your at bat is null and void. So Pete Alonso, I like his hits, runs, RBIs over 1.5 against Walker Buehler here today. Like I said, he's gone 6 straight games where he's gone over this. He's walked and he's gone hits. I like Pete Alonso over 1.5 hits, runs, RBIs in this one.
And by the way, Tokyo, Pete Alonso, I looked it up. It didn't take long. I did not know this offhand. But according to Alonso himself in 2019, teammate Todd Frazier at spring training said, "You look like a big damn polar bear." The best part about this article, though, says, "So it's stuck." And if anyone of you guys know Todd Frazier, he's a loudmouth from Jersey. That's what the article says right after that quote. So I thought that was pretty interesting. Pete Alonso got the nickname from Todd Frazier. Hey, Tokyo, $5 Tuesday for you and your friends in Japan. It's $5 Wednesday morning, but it still works. Every best bet is $5 until midnight tonight, Pacific time. That's almost Thursday in Japan, but nonetheless, you get the point. What else you got going on at WagerTalk.com?
Yeah, I got a $5 play at MLB up today, and you can grab that for $5 at my page. And like I said earlier, I have the Japanese basketball special. Japanese basketball is available on DraftKings and FanDuel, and I've been cashing it like crazy so far this season. After 2 weekends, I am 9-4 in Japanese basketball. And this season goes on until May 4th. So grab my basketball all-season access for $199 and my $5 play for Tuesday. Number 1 capper in 2024. Number 1 3 of the last 4 years. Grab it, cash it, let's go.
Tokyo Brandon, everyone. Outstanding. Now he's got a new signal, Steve. Add that to the list of weirdness.
It's a good thing. We know when he's leaving. Not a bad thing.
Well, listen, I love having him on. And what a character Tokyo Brandon is, and a
damn great handicapper as well. It's a hell of a
he's
combination.
Unbelievable. Yeah. Like Steve, if I were to bet blindly one handicapper only, regardless of sport, it would be Tokyo Brandon without question. But I understand why people. Look, he doesn't bet NFL, he doesn't bet college football, NBA, college hoops, NHL, and I get it. We live in North America, people want to watch the sports that they bet, so I understand where they're coming from. But if you put all of that aside, Tokyo Brandon is literally as good as it gets. And you, brother, you're right there with him, and an outstanding run since we last spoke. I think, what are you, 6-1 in your last 7?
Yeah, and actually going back to last Thursday, 7-1 the last 5 days now, because we cashed again last night. I'll piggyback on what you just said. I'm big on diversification, how I use the correlation between the financial markets and the sports betting markets. And yeah, you get Tokyo, you're going to get Japanese baseball, Korean baseball, Japanese basketball. Guess what, folks? I haven't released a single play in any of those sports. I do 5 sports: college and pro football, college and pro basketball, baseball. And my best bets, 4% and higher plays, are up over 170 units already this calendar year. We have 2.5 months to go still. And so you could literally have both of us, and you'll get all your primetime games and things you're interested in and still make even double the money. So it really is important to diversify. And we talk so much about that. I'll give you another what bettors learned here, and that is parlays versus straight bets. I saw this article this weekend. The sportsbook accounts from like FanDuel, the publicly traded companies like FanDuel, DraftKings, released their earnings. Over the last year, their hold percentage on parlays is around 18%. Their hold percentage on straight bets is 5%. Look, I know there's a lot of new bettors out there, and I get having a $5 or $10 parlay. And by the way, there's nothing wrong with that.
Nope.
But as I say all the time, be honest with yourself. If you're really treating this for fun or as a real long-term investment, keep it simple. Every one of those plays that's up 170 units this year that I've released at WagerTalk.com has been a single straight bet. It's that simple, a side or a total. Doesn't get any more complicated than that. If you want to parlay them, that's fine, but you once again are giving the house a bigger edge. And I think those hold numbers speak to that 18% versus 5%. And, obviously more money is being bet on the sides. The limits are higher. But still, that tells you all you need to know. If you're serious about winning, keep it simple. Play these as straight bets. If you want to have a long shot parlay on some money line underdogs, there's nothing wrong with that. But once again, this is how pros make money. This is how my clients make money, and it's really not that complicated.
Yeah, and I've been through this a million times, Steve. Well said. And, I'm really glad that companies like DraftKings and FanDuel are public companies and have to disclose this type of information, because it's easy for us to sit here and say, hey, look, a 2-team parlay has 4 potential outcomes, but they pay you 2.6 to 1. Clearly an idiot can figure out how stupid a bet that is. A 3-team parlay has 8 potential outcomes and they pay 6 to 1. Anybody can understand what a stupid bet that is. But now we actually are getting information to prove these statements. And, I understand, and I'm with you. There are many different types of bettors. I have a friend, Nardi, who listens to the show every single day. He does a $100 parlay every single Sunday, 16 parlay, tries to win $5,000. He cashed one a few weeks ago. We spoke about it on the show. I actually gave him those 6 teams. And I have no problem with someone doing that. He's not trying to make a living betting. He's not trying to build a bankroll betting. He's trying to have fun betting, and he wants to try turn 100 into $5,000. Good luck. But if most of the people who buy handicapping plays and most of the people who take time out of their day to watch these shows are not betting for fun, they're betting to try make money, those people need to stop making parlays. They just need to. It's a losing proposition in the long run. I've spoken about it. Steve has spoken about it. Teddy has spoken about it. Now DraftKings and FanDuel have come out and proven what we're saying over and over and over again. And let me just end with this, Steve. If you bet a minus 110, you make a 91% return on your money in 3 hours.
Right.
I don't understand why you would need to make more. I mean, that is an incredible return over a 3-hour period. We both are in the stock market. My portfolio's done incredible. I've averaged somewhere around 11% return over the last 10 years. That is a spectacular return. If you buy real estate REITs out there or get involved in mortgage brokering, you're going to make around a 9% return every year over and over and over again. If you bet a minus 110 tonight, you make a 91% return in 3 hours. So let's not get greedy, guys. Also, I do want to give out a quick promo for me. And Steve, I'd like to see you go the show without a promo. You might shake. You might get the shakes.
Why would you want to see that?
I don't know.
You benefit when I promo. Everyone at WagerTalk.com benefits because more people go to the site. It's a win-win scenario. I do this for you, Prez. I hate promoing.
You're right, Steve. And based on the amount of people who buy your plays, I think we should literally just do next Tuesday as the Steve Merrill promo show. Anyway, I have a great promo for you guys.
Comment below for those of you watching the replay if you would like the Steve Merrill with no Prez show next Tuesday, and we will do what you desire. I will not show up if you want the Prez only.
No,
I'm good
I want
either way.
you here, dude. I want you here, and I want you promoing all the time.
Comment below.
Okay, shut up. I'm trying to do a promo for me. Okay? Anyway, how many people want Tokyo Brandon to host the show? That could be good. I'm game. If you get 100 people to agree with that, Tokyo, you can host the show. Long story short, I've built my reputation on 2 sports, NHL and NFL. My basketball has been insane the last 2-3 years. But over the last 3.5 decades, I am known as an NHL and NFL expert, and I have a combination package promo for you guys. The bottom line is, if you buy a month of my NFL, you get a month of my NHL for free. If you buy a month of my NHL, you get a month of my NFL for free. It's $179, and it's a 2-for-1 deal. It is an incredible promotion. I will be talking about it all week ad nauseum, so please forgive me, but I really think it is an incredible promo, and I really think you guys are going to make a lot of money taking advantage of that. Also, the penalty box segment is up now. or will be up in the next few minutes over at WagerTalk TV. 3 NHL plays for you guys that go tonight, and I am taping the NFL presidential address right after the show. That'll be online by 4 p.m. Eastern. Okay, Jesse Schule, we always go late on this show, so don't worry about timing. Welcome to Wager Talk Today, my friend.
Glad to be back. I missed last week's show because I was on a bit of a holiday, but it's back to work and got a little bit of work to do after a subpar weekend. It's always unfortunate to when things don't go as planned on the weekend, but coming off of a decent Monday, looking forward to some more NHL action tonight.
Jesse, a couple of things before we get into some actionable info. You tweeted out a picture of 4 steaks on a barbecue. There was some serious spicing going on those steaks. I couldn't even tell what kind of cut it was. Tell us about the spicing for those steaks, because they looked amazing.
Okay, so those were picanha steaks, dry brined for 24 hours, and then seasoned with just SGP, salt, garlic powder, and pepper, generously seasoned, then smoked for about an hour and a half on a Weber, and then grilled on high heat on that Weber for about 2 minutes aside, just to get, and they're really thick steaks too, to get that crust on the outside. You got that nice wall-to-wall medium rare with smoky flavor in the middle. It's a cheap cut of meat, but when done like that, there isn't much better out there.
Jesus Christ, Steve. Like, that's a mic drop moment, hey?
Tenderizing Tuesday, man. I'm like hungry now. We needed that photo. I'm glad the photo wasn't available. That might have pushed me over the edge.
Jeez.
Impressed.
A reverse sear Pittsburgh style.
The smoked and then searing it. Like, how rare is it still inside? That's what I'm fascinated by. That sounds brilliant.
Wall-to-wall medium rare. The pictures are
nice.
There's the post of the raw steaks, and then under that there's a picture of the finished product, and I think you'll see it's pretty much perfect.
Wow. I'm going to go take a look. Yeah, I'm hungry. I actually am freaking hungry, and I got to still tape.
Dude, you're not helping, man. We got a hard out at 12:45 Eastern because I got to eat.
Yeah, we don't have a hard out on Tuesdays. Jesse, let's get into a couple of your bets, and then I will address your dear Prez in the chat room. Purdue team total over 13.5. There is a ton of juice here, brother. Like sugar pineapple style, minus 165. Why are you betting this?
Well, for a variety of reasons, but your option is you got to go 13.5 or 14.5. Obviously, it's a lot more difficult to get to 14.
Right.
You know, you're going through a couple key numbers there. That's just the two options you got. Obviously, for those that don't want to lay the juice, go to 14.5. It'll be tougher to get there. I still think they get there. I mean, you look at this game, the Oregon Ducks coming off that massive win in one of the biggest games in the college football season so far, 32-31 over Ohio State. They've now moved all the way up to number 2 in the polls. They're playing on a short week on the road, and technically this is their third Big Ten road game of the season, but in reality, I would say this is their first ever Big Ten road game, because the 2 previous Big Ten road games were against former Pac-12 schools. This is their first legit Big Ten road game against a Big Ten team that's been a Big Ten team for a while. Purdue is the worst team in the Big Ten, hands down. They're not good on defense, but it's a bit of a tricky spot for Oregon. I don't know if Marco would open up the sandwich spot for a number 22 ranked Illinois at Oregon next week, but certainly the letdown is there. And then we've got a freshman quarterback by the name of Ryan Brown, who came in for the Boilermakers last week, throws for 297 yards, 3 touchdowns, no picks, and added 118 rushing yards. That's got to be one of the best freshman quarterback debuts anybody's ever seen. I don't know that guy can put up that kind of numbers on an Oregon defense, but I mean, he did that against Illinois, and Illinois' defense isn't too shabby either. The fact that Oregon's a 27.5, 28-point favorite in this game means that the team total is going to be quite low for Purdue. In a non-focus spot for Oregon, I think Purdue gets at least their 2 touchdowns here. And that's the reason why I'm going 13.5 instead of 14.5, Prez. If they offered a 14 and you could get the push, I might look at that to save a bit of bucks. But I do think Purdue gets their 2 touchdowns here.
Yeah, I mean, there's no question with the team total. I mean, 14.5 is basically 17 at that point, or 16.5, I guess you could say, because you're going to have to get to 17 at that point. So 13.5 is a key number for a team total in any game of football, college or pro. Jesse, fascinated by this next game you want to talk about, USA Mexico. It's a soccer friendly. I always find these friendlies interesting because they're basically scrimmages, right? I mean, they don't count anywhere. So how do you handicap these friendlies? I mean, you're obviously, it's kind of like NFL preseason, right? Trying to figure out which team has who playing and who's taking it serious. I mean, what are you looking at in this game?
Well, I can tell you, Steve, it doesn't sound like you're very familiar with the USA-Mexico rivalry. They call the game a friendly. It's not going to be very friendly, I can tell you that. Twice in the last year, the match has been marred by comments, chanting from the Mexican crowd that are inappropriate, let's say, about sexual orientation. One of the matches was actually halted early. The referee stopped the match. 3 years ago, the fans were throwing beer bottles at the USA players. These two teams really don't like each other. And USA has really handed it to Team Mexico over the past several years. The last 5 meetings, USA has won 3, had 2 draws. Mexico hasn't beaten the United States in Mexico since 2009. And at this point, it's clear that USA is a better team than Team Mexico, but we're going to bet Mexico today, Steve, and I'll tell you why. The United States' best player, Christian Pulisic, he's the leading scorer for AC Milan, truly a world-class player. He's not going to be playing in this game. You've got 3 other key players, all playing in Europe, not going to play in this game. Goalkeeper Zach Steffen, who plays for Colorado in MLS, formerly played for Manchester City, also not going to play for Team USA. So that's a lot of star power that USA is missing. And I think that says a lot about how serious they're taking this match, kind of waving a white flag. And, Mexico does not want to draw in this match. Mexico wants to win. They want to get a win against their most hated rival. And expect it to be anything but friendly in Guadalajara tonight. And for those that don't like soccer, this is a 10:30 Eastern start. This is your late night bailout game after all the baseball and everything else is finished. So keep it on the back burner.
Yeah, I was going to say, I forgot I was following that up. I was intrigued because, you're right. I mean, Mexico-USA is not a friendly matchup, and I did see some of that happen in years past. Jesse, no follow needed. Great analysis. What else you got going on? $5 Tuesday, WagerTalk.com. Let us know what you got tonight and also plan for this week.
All right, for tonight, I do have a $5 baseball play. I'm hitting 62% with my baseball this season. Top 5 at WagerTalk with baseball. I'm not putting up Tokyo Brandon numbers, but baseball is not really my gig, so I'm happy with a top 5 showing in baseball. NHL hockey. I know Prez likes to claim his crown there for NHL hockey. Up 42 units, hitting 63% with my top NHL plays. That's 4% and 5% plays the last 365 days, and that is number 1 at WagerTalk with those 4% and 5% hockey plays during that time span of 365 days. I got a 4% hockey side going tonight. Prez is complaining about it, but I can't hear him.
Jesse, just for the record, I'm cheering for your hockey. I don't compete with you or Leonard or Carmine or Andrew. I want us all to destroy the books. I only compete with the books. And the better you do, the more money I make. So go, Jesse, Schule, go. And also, thank you for not wearing a muscle shirt on the show today. Greatly appreciated. Can never figure that thing out, man. Like what? Like you just want the sweat to drip down the side of your body from your stinky underarms? Like why? Why, Jesse?
Marinates
I don't know what
steaks.
to say, Prez. Sleeveless shirts are pretty common,
Yeah, they're
It's
not.
hot over
They
that grill.
are in
It's hot over that
America.
grill, man.
They
Gotta
are in
breathe when you're over that
America.
grill.
What, Jesse?
I said, have you ever watched the Pat McAfee show? The guy only strictly wears sleeveless black
Yeah, it's an
tank tops.
American thing. It is an American thing. I'm telling you that nobody else in the world wears those ridiculous shirts. Jesse, we have flat ran out of time. I know you mentioned that why they don't throw a ball 3 times with 13 seconds left to go in the first half because of people like Will Levis, and Teddy has said it. There might be an interception. That's a bullshit argument. I said 13 seconds left. You throw the ball to the other team's 20. If they get an interception, so be it. They don't have any time on the clock to move it anyway. So, cock is my response to you. Did you promote
I just
well
remember
enough?
his coach saying if we punted on first down for the entire second half, we would have won. I thought that was an accurate statement at the time he said it after the week 1 loss to Chicago, and it was one of the funniest statements I've heard from a head coach.
Brilliant. Dude, thanks for joining us, man. We love having you on. I'm glad you're back. I hope you had a wonderful trip. I want you one day to cook me one of those steaks. Anything else you have to tell our clients?
Well, if you want that steak, Prez, you're going to have to do your next vacation in Thailand instead of the Bahamas and the French Riviera and all these high-end places you go. You can handle a trip to Thailand, I think.
Yeah, okay. So I will eventually get to Thailand, but it is not on the top of my list. But I heard it is absolutely freaking spectacular. I just need to wait till I'm single. Jesse Schule, everyone! Thank you, my brother. Adam Trigger, don't you worry, bro. We're going late. Steve Merrill, it's time for your big game breakdown.
Going to look at a little Big Ten action prime time, Saturday night, 7:30 Eastern NBC. We've got Iowa at Michigan State. I'm going to give you both the side and total for free here with analysis in just a moment. Quick reminder, if you're loving these free plays, the solo videos throughout the week, be sure to click the subscribe button and hit the bell for instant alerts. Also, my college football top 25 and NFL Fade the Public videos this weekend as well here on the channel. And comment below. I do truly read all the comments and reply back. The Iowa Hawkeyes are always a fascinating team. All of last year, just a fun team to handicap. They went 12-2 to the under. They somehow finished with a 10-4 straight-up record last year, despite being outgained in 11 of those 14 games in total yardage. They were 3-11 in the stats and went 10-4 straight up. They get rid of the coach's son. Francis' son is no longer the OC, and boom, they've got offense all of a sudden this season. But it's very misleading when you dig into the numbers. This is an Iowa team that's still very strong defensively, and they have a fantastic rushing attack, 223 yards a game, almost 6 yards per carry. They almost average more rushing yards per carry than they do passing attempts, yards per pass attempt. 5.8 versus 5.9 right now. They still don't throw the ball very well. And I think this is a spot where you can start getting some value once again with Iowa unders. Now, as I do this video early week, you'll see that it is 41 across the board at WagerTalk. You got to get 41 or more in the under. It's such a key number. So many games land there. 24-17 is a very likely result here. 31-10, 21-20. You get the point. 41's a key number. Last year, one of the 2 overs out of those 14 games was actually against Michigan State. It landed on 42. The total was 36.5. But there was a defensive touchdown in that game. Otherwise, it would have stayed under. So I like the under 41 here. But I also like this spot to fade Iowa for a couple reasons as a 6-point road favorite. First of all, they're coming off a huge home win against Washington last week. And yes, I liked that spot. In fact, that was a strong client best bet at WagerTalk last week on Saturday. We had a 3-1 Saturday, a 5-1 Saturday and Sunday football weekend. And that was one of my strong best bets, an easy 40-16 win. But it was a great spot to fade Washington after their national title revenge win against Michigan the week before. Washington also making that tough travel trip. By the way, Big Ten teams traveling multiple time zones have been a huge play against so far this season. And then on top of that, it's not only a letdown spot for Iowa, but Michigan State is coming off a bye week. And boy, did that bye come at the perfect time as they had to play both Ohio State and Oregon back-to-back weeks as 3-touchdown dogs. Yes, they got blown out as expected. They're 3-3 on the season, but they were 3-1 in all other games before that. Good defensive team, by the way. They defend the run and the pass. I was not going to be able to throw the ball in this game. That keeps it close. I like the under, but I like Michigan State +6 as well. So a little 2-for-1 free play special for you here. Once again, hit subscribe, hit the bell for instant alerts, thumbs up, like, and comment below. And if you want to get on board, red hot. Once again, last weekend, best bets 5-1 in college and pro football. Best bets are now ranked number 1 this season in college and pro combined. And it should be no surprise, I entered the season number 1 the last 2 years combined in ATS Units 1 in college and pro football. Baseball regular season finished 31-13, and the NBA starts next week. Number 1 the last 3 years combined in NBA profit, and number 1 all time in Units 1 in the NBA in the history of WagerTalk.com. So not a bad time to get an all sports, all access. And when you sign up right now, you can get the rest of 2024, the next 2.5 months for free when you sign up for the 2025 all access 1-year special. Put that in perspective. Right now, I'm up over 170 units of profit on best bets this calendar year. 9.5 months in, you'll get the next 2.5 months free when you buy 2025 and an additional $200 discount. Don't delay. Steve Merrill, WagerTalk.com, and get there quicker with shortcut WT.buzz/SM.
Steve Merrill, great stuff, brother. Deshaun Watson's in Thailand right now as we speak. Well, we know he's certainly not in Cleveland. Dan, did you get that picture I just sent you? Can you put it up, or is it too soon? Okay, we'll do it. We'll do it in the middle of Adam Trigger's segment. Shout out to a couple of you guys. Oh, dude, that picture is food porn, bro. Shout out to a couple of guys who have purchased my $179 package already since the show started. Oh my God, so much freaking love. Get my NFL for $179. You get my NHL for free. Adam Trigger joining us. Adam, I love having you on the show, and congratulations on your baseball, man. You've been killing it. 10-0 run and 4% plays. Welcome to Wager Talk Today. Volume ad. Okay, ad. Not doing good, ad. Not doing good. That's okay. Can we put the picture up?
Let's see that steak.
Yeah.
That
Put
steak
that
left
picture
Trigger
up, Dan.
speechless.
Oh, okay, fine. I'll send it to Wager Talk Today.
Goodness.
Fine.
See what happens when we get rid of
do we
Trash Talk
have
Tuesday.
Adam
Things just
Trigger
go
with
chaos just
volume?
ensues.
Well, that's okay. How about I do the daily presidential address right now? What do you say, Dan? Okay. Welcome, everybody, to the daily presidential address. I'm Lawrence Presman, and what? Now I got Adam talking in my ear? Let's start that again. Welcome, everybody, to the daily presidential address. I'm Lawrence Presman. We're going to take apart the Miami Dolphins Indianapolis Colts game. It goes this Sunday. It is Miami plus 3.5 with a total of 43.5 in this game. And before I take that apart, as this is a standalone video, I want to mention the promo that I got going. Buy my 1-month NFL package, $179. Get a month of my NHL for free. This is an incredible offer. These are my 2 best sports. Please take advantage of that. You can find it over on the deals page or over at my page, wt.buzz/PZ or LP. Okay, so I know Miami has had a week to prepare. I get it. But if you can't cook, you can't cook. I spent all day preparing my hair. It doesn't matter. Look what a total mess my hair is. It makes no difference how much time Miami has to prepare. This is not a good football team. The issue here is Richardson playing? Is Taylor playing? Even Pittman and Downs are questionable. Now, I expect Richardson, Pittman, and Downs to play, but it is Tuesday, and I really don't have a full grip on who will or will not play today. I will make this easy, though. I think Richardson is going to play, and I expect the Colts to get a W here. With that said, I don't think I could get to the window on the side. I think this is going to be a 3 to 4 point game, and I think the line is currently perfect. As for the total, we have to go with the under in this game. How is this 43 points? Miami literally is averaging 12 points a game. 12 points a game. And that includes a game that Tua played. And even in that game, they weren't scoring much. I know Indianapolis can score quick. I know Richardson can throw the ball deeper than anybody. And I know that they're averaging 23 points a game. But this Miami defense is good. And even if Indianapolis gets 23, even if they get 24, 27, I can't count on Miami putting up more than 14. Defensively, both these teams are middle of the pack. Both of them have allowed around 23 points per game. If either of these teams were playing a big scoring team, I would be concerned about their D units. But I don't really care here because I don't think Indianapolis is a scoring juggernaut, and we already know Miami is not. I think this game is 20-17 written all over it, and that's 6 points less than the number. Bottom line here, guys, is take the under. Now, with that said, I have seen a few threes on tap coming in, so money is clearly coming in on Miami. Wait this out. If we could get a 2.5, I'm all over Indy. But without that, let's stick to the under, 43.5. Adam Trigger, is your mic working now, my brother?
I hope so. Same
Well,
microphone, same setup I've used for like 2 straight years. I don't know why that would have decided to not work today, but looks like we're back here. So
we have 6-7 minutes left. We will get through it. Dan, can you put that picture up now? Because everyone needs to see it. Okay. So we were talking about Jesse Schule making a steak, and he sent a picture of it. And I got to tell you, Steve, it is freaking spectacular looking. Like, I zoomed in on it. It looks juicy. It is so well cooked. Oh, my God. Anyway, I don't know what
it wasn't photoshopped. Did you authenticate it?
I believe Jesse. I mean, he wears muscle shirts.
He sounded like he knew what he was doing. I will say, I would have bought that selection. I would have paid the 25 for that cooking advice.
Oh yeah, dude!
That's
Look at that.
Oh, that's a 5% steak right there. 5% play.
That is freaking stunning, Adam Trigger. What do you think about that piece of meat?
Too good to eat. You can't even eat that. It's too good to eat.
I actually think the picture quality probably doesn't do it like full justice. It's probably actually better than it looks in that picture. And for anything, if you're ordering your steak anything other than medium rare or rare, that's an issue. I can't get down with that. If you're like a well done guy, we can't share a steak. That's where
I've been at high end restaurants. I've heard the people next to me order filet well done. It like makes you cringe, like when you hear that.
Well, Jesse, the other photo is better, but this one showed the juiciness. And yeah, Steve, firstly, anyone who orders a filet mignon should not be allowed to eat meat, whether they get it well done or not. That is a tasteless piece of crap. Okay, let's go. Virginia, Clemson, plus 21 for the dog. How you betting this?
Yeah, so I don't know if this makes my client card, but I thought this was an interesting number. I saw this number of 21 and where the market's going and the fact that it could actually continue to creep up. And I think we're starting to get into the inflated numbers with this Clemson team, which I figured would start to happen after they blew out Wake Forest last week. So Clemson's 5-1. Remember, they got destroyed by Georgia first week of the year. So this is 5 straight weeks where they've just blasted inferior teams. They have one of the highest first half point margins that you're going to find in the country this year. So for the last 6 weeks, or last 5 games that they've played, they've pretty much had it wrapped up at halftime. A lot of garbage time in those types of games. They've given up a lot of points in those garbage time minutes. So I think when you're talking about a spread of 21, that's something that you need to take in consideration. Now, Virginia may be the best team that this Clemson side has seen since that Georgia game. I'm not comparing Virginia to Georgia by any means, but if you look at the teams that Clemson has played, App State, Stanford, Florida State, Wake Forest last week, I think you can make a case that a 4-2 Virginia team with a hard-fought loss to Louisville and really one bad half of football against Maryland is the best team that Clemson has seen since. So, I look at this big number, Prez, Steve, I see Anthony Calandria, a playmaker, can keep a team in a game. Clemson's going to probably go to a zone defense like they've done with the lead in the past. You're going to give me 21 points there. That's hard to pass up. This line feels inflated to me.
Yeah, Adam, I was going to say, I mean, the Virginia Cavaliers easily 5-1, if not 6-0, despite being just 4-2. They had a 4-0 turnover deficit at Maryland in that loss, and they only lost by 4 against Louisville last game, despite having the yardage edge. So this is a dangerous dog here, but setting up pretty well for Clemson in what's a very weak ACC this year with Florida State not showing up at all this season. Adam and I were talking college basketball late last night, and I love how you have the Virginia theme this week. You got the Virginia Cavaliers, and you're going to look at another Virginia school here for a futures play in college hoops, which is less than a month away.
Yeah, I cut that football play short because, Steve, I got to leave myself time to talk college hoops. I know we're getting up to the end of the show here, and this is something that I just kind of threw together this morning. We're starting to get some conference odds coming out now. Caesars already has a whole bunch of the conferences up. Bet Online, like a lot of these books are putting conference odds, and I started to see A10 odds pop. And, I thought it would be an interesting thing to talk about for the show. And I think Virginia Commonwealth to win the Atlantic 10 at 4-1 or better is a very good bet. And I'll talk about why. So if you want the team preview for VCU, just head on over to the WagerTalk YouTube channel. I already did that 20-minute preview of VCU hoops. I'm here to talk about why I think they can win the Atlantic 10 and why it's a good bet. So we've got a 15-team A10, Steve, and I think there's a lot of dead money in this market because I look at this 15-team league, and I don't see anyone in that bottom sort of 10 that's got a chance to win this league this year. I mean, you talk about the teams that'll likely be the bottom fives, the George Washingtons, Fordhams, LaSalle's, Rhode Island. Those teams are there's no dark horse that's just going to come out of nowhere and be in the top. So then you've got your middle of the pack, the Duquesnes. Duquesne was like the darling last year, NCAA tournament. Richmond was the co-champ last year. Teams like Rhode Island, UMass, St. Bonaventure, I think they're more like the bottom five than they are the top five. So now I get to the top five, what I consider the top five. I've got VCU, Dayton, St. Louis, Loyola Chicago, and St. Joe's. Dayton was the team that was the best team in the league last year. They were the team that cracked the national rankings. They lose Deron Holmes. I think they take a step back. They're still priced like a top option to win. I don't think that's the case. St. Louis was a team that finished dead last year. They've got a new coach in Josh Schertz. They're going to be a lot better. Is he going to take them from the outhouse to the penthouse in year one potentially? Maybe, but I wouldn't bet on it as a favorite where they're priced right now. So then you've got Loyola Chicago. I don't know that they've got enough offense to go 15-3 in the league like they did last year. That leaves me with VCU and St. Joe's. And I think you've got a St. Joe's team that's largely the same team as last year that was 9-9 in the league, or a VCU team that's got Ryan Odom in his second year, that's got 5 upperclassmen starters, 4 that return to the program, 7 guys that are either an upperclassman or a senior or a grad transfer. That's the team that I think wins this league. And I'm looking at the books, Steve. I think they might not be priced as a favorite at some books. You might get 5-1 depending on where you shop as these lines start to pop up. That's something I'm willing to tie my money up with for a couple of months. Virginia Commonwealth is going to have a great chance to win this league. And I think at 5-1, plus 550, even plus 450, that's a worthwhile future bet in college basketball.
Adam Trigger, outstanding stuff, brother. Real quick, what do you have to promote?
Yeah, so my microphone wasn't working earlier. You did mention I have a great baseball run going. 10 straight playoff winners. That's 4% and 5% plays, but that's all of my plays. 10 straight, 7-0 in the the division series of Major League Baseball, and I have a $5 4% MLB play that goes tonight. If you want my college basketball for the whole season, we have it up at an insanely low rate, probably the cheapest it's going to be at any point this year. Use coupon code TRIGCBB. That's TRIGCBB on the full season. I think it knocks it down to like $3.95 or something like that. Lowest rate it'll be offered at all season. And check our previews out. WagerTalk YouTube channel. They're all in one nice playlist. It'll get you ready for the college hoop season.
There we go. Adam Trigger, everyone. What a show, Steve Merrill. Michael Villa sums it up. I shouldn't enjoy this channel as much as I do. I'm a teacher and I can't control my consumption of this channel. Lots of love, Michael. Thank you for that. Steve Merrill, thanks for co-hosting with me. We'll see you next Tuesday. Shout out to Tokyo, Jesse, and Adam Trigger, Dan in the background. Check out Puck Time, everyone. I'm on it. The penalty box segment should be up any minute, and the NFL presidential address will be up by 4 or 5 p.m. Eastern. Steve Merrill, thanks, brother. Let's get out of here now.
Thanks, buddy.